Don't wait for opportunity, create it. The illusion of waiting. How many of us spend our lives waiting? Waiting for the right moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstances to finally arrive. We convince ourselves that success is a matter of timing, that if we are patient enough, the universe will reward our patience with a miracle. But let me tell you something, waiting is an illusion. It is a trap disguised as patience, a comfort zone wrapped in the illusion of safety. The truth is, life does not pause for anyone. The perfect time rarely exists, and the chance you are waiting for may never knock a door unless you create it. We often say, I'll start when I'm ready, or I'll pursue my dream when I have more resources. These are the stories we tell ourselves to justify an action. They sound reasonable. They feel safe. But the danger is subtle. It whispers to you that waiting is a strategy when in reality it is surrender. Every day that you wait, the world moves forward. People take steps, and opportunities are claimed by those who are bold enough to act. Waiting might feel safe, but it slowly erodes your potential. Think about it. How many great ideas, inventions, or success stories came from people sitting around hoping for luck? None. History remembers those who took initiative, who saw a chance where others saw none, and who dared to step forward while everyone else hesitated. Waiting gives you comfort in the short term, but it steals your future. It convinces you that you are in control, yet in reality, control is slipping through your fingers. The illusion of waiting is powerful because it appeals to fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. It tells you wait until you are perfect, until you are prepared, until the world is ready for you. But perfection is a myth. Preparation is endless, and the world is never going to pause just for you. Every second you wait is a second that could have been spent building, learning, and moving forward. The people who succeed are not the ones who waited. They are the ones who acted despite fear, who leaned into uncertainty, and who understood that action is the antidote to doubt. Waiting also creates a false sense of security. It feels like planning, like strategizing, when in reality it is doing nothing. You may tell yourself that you are observing, learning, or preparing. But if there is no action, there is no growth. Opportunities are not gifts to be received, they are battles to be fought. They are created by people who refuse to sit idle. Waiting gives you time to think, but it does not give you progress. Now imagine the person who refuses to wait. Imagine the individual who wakes up every day asking, what can I do today to move closer to my dream? That person does not wait for perfect circumstances because they understand that life will never hand them perfection. They understand that waiting is a slow, silent form of defeat. Instead, they start where they are with what they have. They turn small steps into momentum, small actions into results. Each day becomes a building block, each risk an investment in the future. The reality is simple but harsh. Waiting is the enemy of achievement. Waiting is the silent thief of dreams. Waiting feels safe, but it is empty. It gives the illusion of preparation while quietly stealing your time, your courage, and your opportunity. If you are waiting for the world to give you permission, to open a door, or to hand you a sign, you may wait forever. Life rewards those who act. Life rewards those who refuse to sit idle. And the first step toward creating opportunity is to recognize the trap you have fallen into. The illusion that waiting will ever be enough. Once you understand this, once you feel the urgency of time and the fleeting nature of chance, something shifts inside. You begin to see that waiting is a choice, and choices can be changed. Waiting is not harmless. Waiting is a decision that shapes your life. And the moment you step out of waiting, the world begins to open in ways you could never imagine. The power of initiative, taking initiative, is the spark that transforms dreams into reality. It is the difference between sitting on the sidelines and stepping into the game of life. Yet so many people underestimate its power, waiting for someone else to guide them, for instructions to arrive, or for a sign from the universe. But the truth is, no one will hand you your life. The only person who can move you forward, who can create a path where none exists, is you. Initiative is not just a choice. It is a responsibility you owe to yourself. The power of initiative begins with a simple realization: action precedes opportunity. Opportunities are not found, they are created. The world does not reward those who hesitate. It rewards those who dare to step forward. When you take initiative, you break the cycle of passivity and claim ownership of your future. You no longer wait for circumstances to improve. You become the force that shapes them. This is not luck. This is not magic. This is the undeniable truth that action has power. Consider the countless stories of people who changed the world. They did not wait for permission. They did not hope for perfect conditions. And they did not sit idle until someone noticed their potential. They acted. They took a step, no matter how small, and allowed momentum to carry them forward. Initiative is not about giant leaps. It is about taking the first step when others are frozen in hesitation. Every great achievement begins with a single act of courage, a decision to move when moving is the hardest thing to do. Taking initiative also means embracing responsibility for your own life. Too often, we blame circumstances, blame the economy, blame other people, or blame timing for our lack of progress. But when you take initiative, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for a push and start providing your own. You stop blaming, stop wishing, and start doing. Initiative requires courage because it forces you to face the unknown, to step into discomfort, and to accept that you alone are responsible for the outcomes you create. And here's the secret many fail to see: initiative builds confidence. Action breeds courage, not the other way around. You do not wait to feel ready. You feel ready because you act. Each step you take, each decision you make, reinforces your ability to handle challenges and seize opportunities. Momentum is born from initiative, and once momentum exists, the impossible becomes possible. The more you act, the more doors open. The more doors open, the more opportunities you discover that you could never have imagined while standing still. Initiative also amplifies creativity and problem solving. When you refuse to wait and decide to act, you begin to see solutions instead of obstacles. Challenges transform from barriers into invitations. You learn to innovate, to find ways around limitations, and to extract opportunity from circumstances that others see as dead ends. The world favors those who act because action itself illuminates paths that were invisible to those who hesitated. But perhaps the most profound impact of initiative is its ripple effect. When you take charge of your life and act, you inspire others to do the same. People are drawn to those who move, who create, who refuse to wait. Initiative is contagious, and by stepping forward, you not only change your life, you influence your environment, your community, and sometimes even the world. Taking initiative is not always easy. It is uncomfortable, it is risky, and it is often met with doubt from others and from yourself. But it is the single most powerful thing you can do to create the life you want. Waiting for life to hand you a chance is easy. Creating that chance requires courage, vision, and relentless action. Yet the rewards are unmatched freedom, progress, and the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you are the driver of your own destiny. Every dream, every ambition, and every goal in life is waiting for someone to act. That someone is not the economy, not your boss, not your circumstances. It is you. Initiative is the bridge between dreams and reality, between fear and achievement, between passivity and purpose. When you understand the power of initiative, you understand the ultimate truth: the world moves forward for those who refuse to wait, and nothing can stop the person who decides to act. Embrace risk and failure. Risk and failure are words that make most people uncomfortable. We are taught to avoid mistakes, to seek security, and to fear uncertainty. We cling to routines and comfort zones, convincing ourselves that staying safe is the key to success. But the truth is, risk is inevitable, and failure is not the enemy. It is the teacher, the guide, and often the gateway to opportunity. To create your own path, to seize the life you dream of, you must embrace risk and failure as part of the journey, not as obstacles to avoid. Every person who has achieved something remarkable has faced risk. Every innovator, every entrepreneur, every pioneer had to step into the unknown. They had to act without guarantees, to move forward despite fear, to trust themselves when the outcome was uncertain. Risk is uncomfortable because it is unfamiliar. It pushes you out of the safety of what you know and forces you to confront possibilities you cannot control. But it is precisely in this discomfort that growth occurs. The person who avoids risk may feel safe, but they also remain stagnant, trapped in the ordinary, watching life pass by while opportunities slip away. Failure, on the other hand, is often misunderstood. Many treat it as the end, a reflection of weakness, or proof that they are not capable. But failure is not final, it is feedback. It is a signpost showing what does not work, what needs adjustment, and where the path lies. Every failure teaches something valuable, a lesson about strategy, patience, resilience, or even yourself. It is not a verdict on your potential. It is a guide toward your next step. The most successful people are not those who never failed. They are those who failed repeatedly, learned consistently, and refused to give up. Embracing risk and failure begins with changing your mindset. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What if I succeed?" Instead of fearing the consequences of taking action, focus on the consequences of inaction. Waiting for certainty is a trap. Opportunity rarely waits for perfect timing, and success rarely comes without effort, mistakes, and setbacks. Those who succeed understand that discomfort is temporary, but regret is permanent. Choosing risk over safety is not reckless. It is necessary. It is the engine that drives innovation, personal growth, and real achievement. Taking risks also requires courage because stepping into uncertainty exposes vulnerability. You may be laughed at, doubted, or criticized. You may stumble and fall in ways that feel humiliating. But vulnerability is not weakness. It is authenticity. The act of taking responsibility for your life, of daring to act when failure is possible, is a sign of inner strength. The lessons you gain from these experiences, the resilience you build, and the confidence you develop are far more valuable than avoiding discomfort ever could be. Moreover, embracing risk and failure allows you to redefine what success means. When you stop fearing mistakes, you start experimenting, exploring, and innovating. You take paths others are too afraid to tread. You create opportunities that would never exist for someone who clings to safety. Risk is not something to endure, it is something to wield. Failure is not a barrier. It is a stepping stone. Each setback, each misstep, each moment of doubt becomes a part of the roadmap to your ultimate goal. One of the most remarkable truths about risk and failure is how often they precede breakthroughs. Many of history's greatest achievements were born from repeated mistakes, from experiments that seemed doomed, and from people who refused to quit despite losing again and again. Failure does not define you. What defines you is your response to it. When you embrace risk, when you accept that failure is part of progress, you empower yourself to act boldly, think creatively, and move fearlessly toward your dreams. If you want to create opportunities, if you want to step into a life of purpose and achievement, you must see risk and failure not as threats, but as allies. They are the fire that tempers ambition, the fuel that drives persistence, and the mirror that reveals your potential. The moment you stop fearing failure, the moment you stop avoiding risk, you unlock a freedom that most people never experience. A freedom to act, to innovate, and to claim the life that waiting could never give you. Resourcefulness over resources. Many people believe that to succeed, you must have everything: money, connections, education, and perfect timing. They wait, thinking that the right resources will magically appear before they can begin. But the truth is, resources are never enough. Waiting for them is waiting for a miracle that may never come. What truly drives success is not what you have. It is what you do with what you already have. It is resourcefulness, the ability to create, adapt, and act even when circumstances are far from ideal. Resourcefulness begins with a mindset. It is the refusal to accept "I can't" as the final answer. It is the belief that where there is a will, there is always a way. People who are resourceful do not see limitations. They see challenges that demand creativity. They do not wait for permission, they take initiative. They do not wait for perfect conditions. They act now, using what is available, learning along the way, and improving as they go. Resourcefulness transforms scarcity into opportunity, turning what seems like a disadvantage into a strategic advantage. Think about the countless innovators and entrepreneurs who started with almost nothing. They did not have the perfect team, the perfect product, or the perfect market. What they had was imagination, determination, and the courage to act. They looked at limited resources and said, "How can I make this work?" Instead of complaining about what they lacked, they leveraged what they had. And in doing so, they discovered solutions that others could not see. The truth is, waiting for everything to be perfect is a trap. What is perfect rarely arrives, but resourcefulness can always take you forward. Resourcefulness is also about seeing opportunity in unexpected places. It is the ability to turn setbacks into stepping stones. When you are creative with your resources, you begin to notice solutions where others see only obstacles. You learn to combine ideas, improvise with what is available, and find alternatives that make progress possible. While some wait for a golden ticket, the resourceful person builds their own ticket. This is the mindset that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Being resourceful also requires courage and confidence. It requires the belief that your ideas, your skills, and your determination are more important than what you lack. It requires action even when conditions are imperfect, and it requires persistence in the face of repeated challenges. The resourceful person does not let fear of failure stop them. They do not wait for someone else to provide the solution. They create the solution themselves, and as they act, momentum builds, opportunities multiply, and the impossible begins to seem possible. Resourcefulness is not only about survival, it is about innovation and growth. When you are forced to work with limited resources, your creativity expands. You learn to think critically, to problem solve, and to take initiative. You become flexible, adaptable, and resilient. These qualities are far more valuable than money, connections, or privilege because they allow you to thrive in any situation. Resources can run out, but resourcefulness is a skill that lasts a lifetime. Perhaps the most important lesson about resourcefulness is that it gives you independence. When you rely solely on resources, you are dependent on circumstances, on others, on luck. But when you rely on resourcefulness, you are empowered. You can take action at any time, in any situation, without waiting for approval or perfect conditions. Resourcefulness gives you freedom, the freedom to act, to innovate, and to create your own opportunities. To embrace resourcefulness is to embrace responsibility for your life. It is the understanding that the power to succeed does not lie in what you have, but in how you use it. Even if you start with nothing, with courage, creativity, and determination, you can begin to build something extraordinary. The world rewards those who act, those who innovate, and those who refuse to let scarcity dictate their future. When you adopt resourcefulness over dependence on resources, you step into a new level of possibility. You stop waiting, stop doubting, and start building. You discover that limitations are not roadblocks. They are invitations to invent, to adapt, and to move forward. The resourceful person is unstoppable because they understand that opportunity is not given. It is made, and the power to make it lies within you. Learn and adapt quickly in a world that changes faster than ever before. The ability to learn and adapt quickly is not just an advantage. It is a necessity. Waiting for perfect knowledge or flawless conditions is a luxury that no one can afford. The truth is, opportunities favor those who are alert, who observe, who adjust, and who act before hesitation steals their chance. Success is not about knowing everything. It is about learning fast, adjusting faster, and applying what you learn to create momentum. Learning is not limited to books, lectures, or formal education. Life itself is a classroom, and every experience is a lesson if you are willing to see it that way. Every mistake teaches you what to avoid next time. Every failure exposes the gaps in your strategy. Every unexpected outcome offers insight you could never have gained by sitting idle. The most successful people are not those who avoided failure. They are those who used every experience as fuel for growth. They understand that learning is a continuous process, and stagnation comes only when you stop observing, questioning, and evolving. Adaptation is the natural companion of learning. Knowledge alone does not guarantee progress. It is how you respond to the information, how you pivot when circumstances shift, that determines your success. Life is unpredictable, markets change, situations fluctuate, and people disappoint. The ability to adapt is the ability to survive and thrive. It is the difference between being crushed by challenges and using them as stepping stones. Those who cannot adapt become irrelevant, but those who can adjust, innovate, and apply their knowledge quickly become unstoppable. Learning and adapting require humility. You must be willing to admit when you are wrong, to acknowledge when your approach is ineffective, and to seek guidance from unexpected sources. Pride and stubbornness are enemies of growth. The moment you refuse to learn, the moment you insist on clinging to outdated methods or beliefs, you stop moving forward. True strength comes from recognizing that knowledge is infinite, that you will never know everything, and that your willingness to learn is the most valuable resource you have. Speed is also critical. Opportunities are fleeting. The person who learns but hesitates to act loses the advantage. The world does not wait for perfect timing, and circumstances rarely align with your ideal plan. Learning must be accompanied by action, and adaptation must be immediate. The faster you absorb information, apply it, and adjust, the more opportunities you create. Hesitation turns insight into regret, while quick adaptation turns insight into success. Learning and adaptation also demand curiosity and creativity. They require you to question the obvious, to explore unconventional solutions, and to see challenges as invitations rather than obstacles. When you cultivate curiosity, you see patterns where others see chaos. When you embrace creativity, you discover possibilities that others overlook. Every challenge becomes a chance to refine your approach, to develop new strategies, and to expand your impact. Those who refuse to adapt limit themselves. Those who embrace it expand endlessly. Perhaps most importantly, learning and adapting quickly build resilience. Life will test you. Unexpected events, setbacks, and failures are inevitable. But if you have the skill to absorb lessons, to pivot in response, and to act decisively, every challenge becomes a teacher rather than a roadblock. Resilience is born from repeated learning and rapid adaptation. It allows you to navigate uncertainty with confidence, to turn obstacles into opportunities, and to maintain momentum when others are stuck. Those who master the art of learning and adapting quickly understand that waiting for certainty is wasted time. They move fast, they adjust constantly, and they apply every lesson to fuel progress. In doing so, they transform chaos into opportunity, mistakes into growth, and challenges into breakthroughs. The world belongs to those who can evolve. And in a life that rewards action, the ability to learn and adapt is one of the most powerful tools you can wield. Persistence is a key driver. Persistence is the heartbeat of success. It is the quiet force that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up too soon. Many people have talent, ideas, and potential, yet they fail to reach their goals simply because they stop trying at the first sign of difficulty. The world does not reward talent alone, nor does it favor those who start strong and then falter. What determines who succeeds is not luck, not perfection, but the ability to keep going when the road is hardest, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, and when every voice, internal and external, is urging you to quit. Persistence begins with commitment. It is a decision, a daily choice to keep moving forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. It is waking up every day with a mindset that refuses to surrender to challenges. The journey toward any meaningful goal is rarely smooth. There will be setbacks, failures, and disappointments. But the persistent person understands that these moments are not reasons to stop. They are signals to push harder, to learn to adapt, and to continue. Persistence transforms obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. One of the most powerful aspects of persistence is its compounding effect. Each small effort, each act of discipline, each refusal to quit adds to momentum. At first, progress may feel invisible, the results may seem distant or insignificant. Yet persistence is cumulative. Over time, every step you take builds on the last, and suddenly the path that seemed impossible becomes clear. The world often overlooks the power of these incremental actions, but those who persist understand that success is not about dramatic leaps, it is about relentless forward motion. Persistence also builds resilience. Every time you continue despite fear, doubt, or criticism, you strengthen your inner resolve. The challenges that once seemed unbearable lose their power over you. The moments that could have broken your spirit become proof of your strength. People admire talent, but they are inspired by perseverance. There is a unique power in showing up again and again, in refusing to be defeated by circumstances, and in demonstrating that determination outweighs talent when talent is inactive. Furthermore, persistence teaches patience in a world obsessed with instant gratification. Society encourages quick wins, overnight success, and shortcuts, but meaningful achievement rarely comes fast or easily. Persistence allows you to endure long enough to reach milestones others never achieve. It enables you to navigate long-term challenges with focus and determination, knowing that every effort matters, even if immediate results are not visible. Patience combined with persistence is unstoppable. It is the engine that drives sustained success. Persistence is also deeply personal. It is rooted in your vision, your dreams, and your desire to create the life you imagine. It is fueled by your refusal to let fear, failure, or the opinions of others dictate your path. Every time you push forward despite doubt, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Persistence is the bridge between aspiration and reality. It carries you over the turbulent waters of uncertainty to the shores of achievement. Perhaps most importantly, persistence inspires others. People notice those who refuse to quit, who rise every time they fall, and who continue to pursue their goals when the path is hardest. Persistence creates a ripple effect. It shows that commitment matters, that effort counts, and that no obstacle is permanent. By persisting, You not only advance your own dreams, but also light a path for others to follow, demonstrating that perseverance is not just a personal virtue. It is a force that can change lives. True success is rarely instant. It is earned through repeated effort, unwavering determination, and the refusal to give up when circumstances are difficult. Persistence is not glamorous or easy, but it is powerful beyond measure. Every great achievement in history, every personal victory, every life transformed has been built on the foundation of persistence. It is the invisible force that keeps vision alive, ignites action, and ensures that those who refuse to quit eventually reach heights that once seemed impossible. Inspire others and multiply impact. Creating opportunities is not just about your own success. It is about the impact you have on the people around you. The most meaningful achievements are those that extend beyond personal gain and ignite change in others. When you act boldly, take risks, persist through challenges, and embrace resourcefulness, your actions inevitably inspire those who witness your journey. Influence is not demanded, it is earned through action. And when you combine your drive with the desire to uplift others, your impact multiplies far beyond what you could accomplish alone. Inspiration begins with authenticity. People are drawn to those who act with courage, who embrace failure as a lesson, and who take responsibility for their own lives. They see someone who refuses to wait for opportunity and instead creates it. That example resonates deeply because it reflects a universal truth. Each person has the power to shape their own destiny. When you embody initiative, perseverance, and resilience, you send a message to the world: you can do this too. You are not powerless. The only limits that exist are the ones you accept. When you inspire others, you ignite a ripple effect. Your determination encourages someone else to try. Your persistence motivates someone to keep going, and your resourcefulness teaches others that limitations are temporary. Each act of courage becomes a lesson in possibility. Influence is contagious, and the people who succeed in isolation are rare. True impact comes when you share your knowledge, your experiences, and your energy with others, demonstrating that achievement is not a solo endeavor. Multiplying impact also requires generosity, not just with resources, but with time, insight, and encouragement. Teaching someone a lesson you learned through failure, mentoring someone who lacks guidance, or supporting someone in their journey all create opportunities that compound beyond your own achievements. The more people you inspire, the more opportunities are created, and the more lives are transformed. Your success becomes a beacon, illuminating paths that others may never have seen on their own. Leadership in this sense is not about authority. It is about influence. It is not measured by the power you hold, but by the inspiration you provide. Every decision you make, every step you take, and every challenge you overcome sets an example for others to follow. People notice action more than words. They are influenced by those who show courage, resilience, and creativity in the face of adversity. And as your influence grows, so does your ability to shape a network of opportunities that extend far beyond your personal goals. The most powerful aspect of multiplying impact is that it transforms your purpose from individual success to collective progress. Your victories no longer belong only to you. They belong to the people whose lives you touch, the communities you uplift, and the future you help shape. This is the true power of creating opportunity. It expands beyond personal achievement to a legacy of influence, hope, and transformation. When you inspire others, you are no longer limited by your own capacity. Your actions ripple outward, creating a world where more people have the courage to act, the persistence to continue, and the vision to dream bigger. And here lies the ultimate truth. The act of creating opportunities for yourself naturally positions you to create opportunities for others. The courage to act becomes contagious. The resilience to persist becomes motivating. And the resourcefulness to overcome challenges becomes a lesson in possibility. By choosing not to wait, by refusing to surrender to fear, by learning, adapting, and persevering, you set a standard for everyone around you. You show that success is not a gift to be received. It is a choice to be made every single day. So let your actions speak louder than words. Take initiative, embrace failure, adapt quickly, persist relentlessly, and share your journey. In doing so, you create a cycle that does not end with you, it multiplies. You have the power to inspire, to uplift, and to transform lives. And when your impact grows beyond yourself, your opportunities expand in ways you never imagined. The choice is yours. Will you wait for life to give you a chance, or will you take action and create it? Will you let fear and hesitation dictate your future? Or will you step forward, embrace the challenge, and inspire others along the way? The world is waiting, not for you to be ready, but for you to act. Step forward, take initiative, and create opportunities. Not just for yourself, but for everyone whose lives you touch. Your courage, your persistence, and your actions can spark a chain reaction of success, hope, and transformation that no one can stop. The moment you decide to create your opportunity, the moment you refuse to wait, is the moment you become unstoppable. And the world will move with you.